In today's video, I'm going to share with you how to win friends and influence people. You're going to learn how doing this will kill any relationship and what you must do instead. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss out when I roll out some new content. Today I'm going to be talking about how to win friends and influence people. This is a book every marketer and anyone that wants to become better at building relationships in general must read. Now, I finished reading this book probably a couple months ago, and honestly, I highly recommend this book to anybody that wants to get better at building relationships and get better especially at talking to people when it comes to prospecting. So, has any of or all of the following ever happened to you? I'm going to break it down. Has anyone ever messaged you and started spamming their affiliate links to their business? That has happened to me a lot. Started judging you up front without really taking the time to have an actual human-to-human conversation. See lots of people acting like automated robots these days when they message people. Has anyone ever ridiculed you on advice you gave to them? Has anyone ever argued with you and maybe you argued back because of how wrong and ridiculous they were being? If you've ever been in any of these situations, this is a video you've got to pay close attention to. Because let me give you an excellent example of the number one thing you must never do. If you do what unfortunately this person did, you will forever struggle in building your business and building your relationships. So what you're about to see is an example of one of the recent conversations that I had with somebody that unfortunately did something that you must never do. And I'm going to go right ahead and share part of that conversation. So let's get right to it. So here we have this guy. Now, I'm not going to tell you his name because at the end of the day, nobody really cares. But this was an actual conversation that I had probably about a couple days ago. So this was a guy that sent me a link. Apparently it was to like some business or offer that he was promoting. And so I had been talking to him probably a few times like last year, but I noticed that he didn't answer my question that I asked him last year. He didn't carry on the conversation. Instead, he just kept spamming me affiliate links to whatever he's selling. And then I answered, what's the point in sending me all these links, yet you don't even want to talk? You never even replied to the message I sent you last year, LOL. And then he replied, sorry, brother, but I am a very busy person. Before COVID, I was making almost $300,000 a year. I wrote a book which has been set to come out through Amazon at some point next year. It was supposed to be out already. The name of my book, Home-Based Millionaire. I also do a state service job for the state I live in. I help people for a living, and I run over 6 different home-based businesses, and I have a small team of people that at this point, we are all spread very thin. But if I sent you a link, it is very self-explaining. You have to navigate some things on your own. Okay, before I continue on the conversation, if you're making bold claims like this, the first thing I'll do is go to your profile, and guess what? Everything that he had posted on his profile was nothing but pure garbage. It didn't show anywhere that he was doing these things, and it just made it really hard to believe. So I'll continue on. So I said, sorry, brother, but you need to consider a different approach if you're going to get anywhere. LOL, what's in the link to? I bet it's very full of junk. So here's where I'm kind of messing with him. And then he said, just know that the opportunity is real. And as you can see here, he sent me pictures of, I guess, him like in front of like fancy cars. And then I just replied, LOL, just know that actually taking the time to talk to people is real. And then he continues sending me these pictures of fancy cars that he's standing right in front of. And I was just laughing because it was just so ridiculous what he was doing. And so he replied, let me give you a secret. Don't be like most people and miss the boat. It takes no effort, no smarts, no skill to be negative, and a lot of people don't make it because of that mistake. May God bless your success. And then I replied, well, let me give you a free secret. Actually having a conversation and building a relationship with people goes a very long way than taking such an amateur approach. Unfortunately, some people are too ignorant and hard-headed to understand that. Good day. And then he replied back to me. He said, if you are speaking of me, the word amateur does not apply and has not applied since I was in high school. We are in the middle of a pandemic, and if you somehow make it through this, you better thank God. I could tell you that you've never been successful just by the way you talk. That's what's unfortunate. But have been where you are, I understand. You can unfollow me if you like. I never said that to anyone. Always try to help people, but you seem unhappy for some reason. You would never do well with what I'm doing. But God bless you anyway. I'm already successful, and I don't need to cater to unhappiness. Thanks for your response. And I just gave him a short reply. I said, LOL, success is not all about money and fancy sports cars. Clearly, you don't know how to read people properly and look at their profiles for once, which he never even looks at my profile, never even has liked any of my content. So I can already tell, like, he's never bothered looking at my profile. And then I tell him it ain't that hard to do. And I was pretty straightforward with him because I realized this conversation wasn't kind of going anywhere. And I was just telling him that what he was doing was not really right. And I was being polite about it. I mean, yeah, I was being straightforward. But, you know, sometimes you got to do that with people. You gotta tell them how it is. So he replied, you live in fairy tale world, and I certainly did not friend you. Last time I checked, you friended me. And to answer your other fake, weak insult, I have mini mansion to go with those fancy cars, and I helped a lot of people to be able to own these blessings. Okay, well, where's your testimonial videos from people that you actually helped? Oh, but you don't have that on your profile, do you? I don't know what your problem is, but you certainly don't know me. And at this point, I don't give two shits to what you think. Obviously, you have too much time on your hands to want to pick a fight on Facebook. LOL, you are a joke. I actually feel sorry for you. I hope you are prepared because after this election, your loser status will be going further down. So be careful who you want to insult, and you may need me to bring you out of Loserville. And by the way, I will have to molest people's profiles. Maybe that's what you do. All I do is accept people, nice people, who request me as a friend. I still hope you make it. See you later, angry white dude. After this response, I just blocked him. I have no time to, have these kinds of conversations with people. It's ridiculous. So after reading through this conversation with me, I want to ask you an honest question. Is this a person you want to do business with or even be friends with who has that kind of attitude, who sends you an affiliate link and just tells you, well, go figure it out on your own? Doesn't even get to know you as a person. And then when you just reject their whatever link that they send you and you're not interested, they go and just like ridicule you, right at your face and tell you how wrong you are and all this stuff. And you're just being polite about giving the advice that can help them. So you may be wondering, what's the solution instead? The solution instead is principle number 1 to how to win friends and influence people, and that is don't criticize, condemn, or complain. Now, sometimes when you're talking to people on Facebook, you gotta be straightforward with them and tell them how it is. But you don't need to criticize and condemn them. Now, at any point in the conversation, if you noticed and paid attention closely, you'll notice that I didn't retort back with such, catty remarks or even called this guy names or whatever. But as you can see what this guy did, not only did he send me a link to whatever he's offering, But he also had to brag about it and say he's doing high and mighty and I'm not. He was basically criticizing me, condemning me, and then towards the end of the conversation, he was basically complaining about he turned the whole conversation to something that was like totally irrelevant. And he even called me an angry white dude when I'm not even white. But something I want to stress here is don't criticize, condemn, or complain. When it comes to building relationships with people that you message on social media, or especially on Facebook, you don't want to criticize, condemn, or complain. Just have the conversation. Just build that relationship. Get to know that person. Make it all about them. And here's something you want to keep in mind when you're talking to people. This is a quote from the book of the first chapter by Dale Carnegie. He said, "When dealing with people, let us remember we are not dealing with creatures of logic. We are dealing with creatures of emotion. Creatures bristling with prejudices and motivated by pride and vanity." These are people that you got to understand, they're not, most of them, some of the time, they're going to be pretty hard-headed when you're, talking to them and giving them advice. Some of them are not probably going to want to listen to you for that advice. But the best thing that you can do, just follow that first principle. Don't criticize, condemn, or complain. If you feel like the conversation isn't going anywhere after you've talked to them and they want to continue to be a hard-headed knucklehead, then just politely excuse yourself from the conversation, block that person, and just move on. Sometimes people are just committed to misunderstanding you. And you know what? You can't do anything about those people. But just act with the best intentions. Be kind, courteous. Don't pick a fight. Don't waste your time with people like that. Like in that example I just showed you. And you'll find that when you live by that principle of not criticizing, condemning, or complaining, that's already a great start to building relationships with any relationships. And just make sure that you never do this, whether you're talking to a prospect who may be interested in what you have to offer, or just getting to know people in general. Here's what I want you to do right now. There will be a link directly below this video. I want you to click on it, opt in with your name and email, and I will see you on the inside. So, with that said, this is Mark Castillo here. I want to thank you so much for stopping by and watching today's video. Have an amazing day wherever you may be, and I will see you on the next YouTube video very soon. Stay tuned as I continue to go over this video series, breaking down each chapter of how to win friends and influence people. This is Mark Castillo here, and I wish you all the absolute best. Have an amazing day. Take care.